Business has committed to use monies provided for social plans as well as other social interventions to support local economic development. How, Honorable President, is it going to be ensured that such interventions are economically viable and sustainable, instead of what I personally term bubblegum interventions, that is providing lip service to deep-rooted economic development challenges faced by most of these communities? I thank you.
As I've indicated, the social partners met to discuss not just the strikes, but discuss the economic situation around the mine area and the conditions, not just of the miners, but of the communities around the mines. And that's why we have agreed that there must be specific programs that will deal with that kind of a situation, including the human settlement question, which will go hand in hand with the activities of the economic development and really inject economic energy in those areas. There are a lot of decisions we took in that regard. So it's not going to be a bubblegum type of intervention. It's going to be a real intervention.
Another follow-up question came from the leader of COPE, Monsieur Lekota, who raised concern about what he called a lack of leadership at a time of crisis, while ACDP leader Reverend Kenneth Meshwe focused on violent strike action in mining towns and lately on farms in the Western Cape.
So my question to the President now is, in the light of what's happening, particularly now in the Western Cape, what is the President saying to those who are perpetually and continually using violence and loss of property when they are striking? And also, what is the President saying about this call to make the Western Cape ungovernable? Thank you.
The Honourable Member will, if he's getting to know about what the President says is not selective, he will know that I've been making this call for a long time. I started making it long before the mine strikes, when the workers would be marching and protesting. I've made this call very strongly, and I've continued to do it. I also made it in the mine. It was not the first time. This call I've been making all the time because it is not acceptable that when people protest or strike, undermine the rights of other people whilst exercising their own right. And this is what I've been saying, and I will continue saying so. I've not said anything about people who talk about the ungovernability of the Western Cape, because I don't know what it means exactly. Absolutely. Unless you explain to me,
members, order.
Unless you unpack it to me, what it means. Because it might mean either protest because of the very harsh conditions here, which is happening throughout the country. Now, I don't know what it means. If you unpack it to me, I'll be able to make a very intelligent comment to you.
The next speaker on my list.
On a point of order, sir.
What point is that, sir?
The President has just requested that we unpack this matter for you. Can we do it now?
Yes, sir. Please take your seat. Honorable Lekota, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. And thank you, Honorable President. Our real potential as a country and capacity as a society to deal with the challenges of the moment lies on the basis of what we can do, and we need leadership. What we need now is leadership. And leadership of society, for society must come from government. Right now, the country
order, honorable members, order.
Is in turmoil. The levels of unrest and civil disobedience are climbing every day. Lives of workers here in the Boland and the vineyards are being lost every day. Your ministers are going there with conflicting messages. Some are encouraging the workers, to do these things which are lawless and so on. And in the process of that, we are losing more jobs than building jobs. Our situation is going to become completely untenable. Extraordinary conditions and circumstances require extraordinary efforts on the part of leadership. And I want to ask this question, Mr. President, why are you so quiet? Why do we not see decisive leadership on your part, marshalling your forces,
Honourable Member,
so
your
that
time
we can
is
see
expired.
solutions begin to happen?
The Honourable President.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Firstly, I haven't heard my ministers conflicting on these issues. I haven't heard them. They've been going to address the issues as they pertain to their very specific portfolios. Ever since we had the strikes, they've been there. But one of the interesting things, Honorable Speaker, is a definition of a leadership of this country. Now, I don't know what do we have here in this parliament, whether these are not leaders of their own party. And the pertinent question, what do they do in this house to give leadership to this country as representative of the people, the public one? Now, why should the question be selective? Is this not the leadership? Are you not a leader, honorable member? Now, I don't want to politic, because I can say other leaders stand here to make the biggest noise saying nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's not leadership. That's not leadership. If I had time, I'll quote Shakespeare, what he says on such people. This call that there is no leadership in this country is totally out of order. There's a leadership in this country which you could divide in many categories. In political parties, unless you say there's no leadership in the political party. There's a leadership in government. There's a leadership in society. That is why when Marikana happened, the leadership immediately moved on. The church, the traditional leaders, the government. The question would be, what was the effort of the other political parties to give leadership? Now,
Order, Honourable Member.
I think it is very important, except making statements.
Point of order.
Yes. There's a point of order. Sir.
Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency, honorable members, I would like to inform His Excellency that immediately opposition parties went to Marikana. We didn't meandering because we went straight there, sir.
Order, Honourable Members, order.
Well, we all live in this country. They all gathered together to criticize, not to seek a solution. That was the problem. That's the leadership I'm talking about. Here was a country in trouble. Instead of coming together to say, what can we do? They gathered to criticize. That is the leadership we have, unfortunately.
When we return, we'll bring a member statement which provoked ministerial responses earlier last week in the National Assembly. Stay with us.